Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Another game from round one of the World Chess Candidates Final 2016. This is the tournament to determine the challenger to Magnus Carlsen, current world champion. And especially this game as an American. As white, the person I picked to win this tournament, a Nakamura from the US. And as black, Fabiano Caruana, also from the US. This is a US match. Like I said, if Carl can't get in, I think it would be wonderful if Fabiano could. I'm going to be 60 this November, and the last time I saw an American in the World Championship Finals playing for the World Championship directly was in 1972 with Fischer. And I remember that's the reason why I started playing chess in the early 70s. And I've been hooked ever since, and I'm hoping that an American, just to get in the final, it'd be wonderful he could win, would do so much for U.S. chess. I'm looking forward to it. But enough of my ramblings. Let's get on with this. It's going to be a symmetrical English. Nakamura's white, Caruana's black. We'll go through the opening here. That's why they call it symmetrical, because it basically is the same layout. Pawn takes, d6. Now, according to the computer, that's the last book move. Now, that move there is for many reasons. Guards these two squares. Stops the pawn from advancing. But it also lets the slate square bishop out. And look at all the room Carl's got. His other bishop can get out. Only problem is he's a little behind in his castling. Knight c3. Knight d7. Knight. Castles. h6. Didn't want that bishop to go on g5. That would have been a really annoying pin, by the way. And this is a move that's typical of Carl. I don't think he did it for attacking purposes. I think it was for defense. It's not one of the computer's choices. Rook to e1, which is the natural move. Bishop f4. And even knight to d4. But Carl decided to go h4. Now let's go back here a little bit. It's almost a half a point advantage for white. And after that move, it's basically even. That must have been part of Carl's preparation, I have no doubt. Knight. Now rook e1. Bishop g4. Bishop f4. Knight f5. Black's pieces are pretty good. The knights on c5 and f5 are pretty good. That bishop on g4, not so good though, but he can always take that knight whenever he wants to, if he feels trapped. But I like white in this, to be honest with you. Queen to d2. Bishop takes. Bishop takes. Queen f6. These guys are feeling each other out. My gut tells me that white here is okay. Not winning and not great, but just okay. With that bishop pair, we'll see how it turns out. Rook a to c1. Nice natural move on the open file. a5. Knight to b5. Now that was the computer that did that, showing that white's ganging up on the d6 pawn. Pretty funny. Queen takes. Queen takes. Bishop takes. Rook c2. Bishop retreats. Believe it or not, rook to d1 is the computer's choice. But I like Carl's move. Bishop takes d6. If knight had taken d6, to give you an idea, rook has to move. Knight takes. Pawn takes. Knight takes. Rook takes. Bishop. Rook takes. Bishop takes. That's a lot of taking for basically an even position. So bishop takes, d takes might have been the same. Knight takes, b6. Now, what do you do here? I mean, it's not a must-win situation. You're in round one. Rook to b1 for Carl. And Fabiano just protects his pawn. Knight c4. Interesting, though. I watched the post-mortem. They looked at knight to b5. That's also the computer's choice. Knight to c4 is a close second. Knight to a4, pretty much shutting down a lot of the queen side for white. Bishop g4. Rook. Pawn. I think Carl should have went h4 much before this, but that's just me. Or excuse me, h5 for white. The bishop moves back. b5. Knight takes. Rook takes. Knight c6. The rook just moves. This looks like it's going to draw. Knight to b4. Knight c3. And then rook b3. And here's where the two Americans, Hikaru Nakamura is white, Fabiano Caruana is black, called a draw. I didn't think it was a dull game. I think a draw is a decent result here. They were playing. They just neutralized each other. Maybe Carl might have had a little bit of something going on, but I wasn't sure how he could put it together. But anyway, folks, that's another game from round one of the World Chess Candidates Final 2016 being played in Moscow, Russia. I hope you enjoyed it. Look for other games from this great, fabulous tournament. Go USA! As I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.